She was very nice and engaging, generous in her level of interest in who I am and what my goals are in life. We texted for days before we made plans to meet in person. On the day of, I ask what area of Los Angeles she lives in so I can arrange a place to meet, and she says, I don't want to tell you because I don't want you to stalk me and rape me. Okay, so that's like the complete opposite of the one before this. It was like, come to my house. Obviously, that's a fair concern when online dating, but I was taken aback. I clarified that I only wanted bad story forever after. That's not a bad story. And then someone was like, never heard of sun poisoning, Googled it. Oh fuck, sorry to hear. Alright. Oh, this is too long. Okay, hold on. Alright, here's another one that says first dates. What are some of your worst experiences? Sorry, okay. I had a woman come to my house during COVID lockdown. We had a few drinks and a pizza. I'm a bit of a clean freak. I went to my kitchen to tidy up the bottles. I turned around and she slapped me in the face. Oh my god, oh my god. Excuse me. I took a step back and asked why she hit me. She responded and said, I like to see how guys react to getting hit. Ma'am, what is wrong with you? I asked her to get her bag and please leave. She stormed out and said, at least you show your true colors early. Someone commented and wrote, wow, just wow. Okay. The last date I was on was at the end of June. I was to meet a lady at her house and then go out to dinner with her daughter and daughter's boyfriend to celebrate her daughter's birthday. Okay. Got to the house, very nice place. The lady was kind enough and looked like her profile pictures. The boyfriend's there waiting for the daughter to come home. She'd decided she wanted a tattoo for her birthday and was running late. The lady I was meeting fudged 3 key things in her profile. She said she wasn't a drinker, but she was drinking. Okay, it's her daughter's birthday, so I'll give her a pass on that one. She said she wasn't a smoker, but then asked if we could go outside and she could light up. Still not a deal breaker, but I would have liked to know in advance, as I am a reformed smoker. What does that mean? Like, you don't smoke anymore? I've never heard of it called that. Then she said her daughter and boyfriend were living with her, but there was no mention of children living at the home in her profile. We had a reservation for the restaurant but we were going to be late because the daughter was running late by about an hour. All this while the boyfriend is constantly calling her, cussing her out, and holding everything up. The lady I'm meeting apologizes and informs me that they fight a lot. The daughter finally shows up and insists on driving all of us to the restaurant. I don't want to add to the trouble, so I agree. All the way there, she and the boyfriend are going at each other, hammer and tongs. I don't know what that means, but I think it just means they're fighting a lot. Things mostly settled down and we had a nice enough dinner, but after we're finished eating, the daughter and boyfriend start going at it some more. The boyfriend brags to me that all he does is stay home and smoke weed and play video games all day. What a flex. That's me saying, what a flex. As we're getting ready to leave, the daughter and boyfriend suggest going to the movies. Since this had run long enough for me, I told them I'd been gone too long and had to get back home to take care of my dogs. We got back to their place and the lady I was seeing pulled me aside and apologized for the day. I courteously told her that it wasn't her fault. To be honest, I guess it wasn't, but that I just didn't think it was the right dynamic for me. We exchanged pleasantries and I left. Neither of us contacted the other ever again. Like, okay. What a strange first date. Like, what? I don't understand. Alright, we'll do a couple more. A couple of weeks back, I've met what I thought was this really nice girl through Instagram. We started chatting and we found out we had a lot of things in common. I asked her on a date and she says yes. The days leading up to the date, she said how this might be the last one. The title is Worst First Date I've Ever Had. Back when I was still single and dating around, I went on a few dates in the same weekend. The first one wasn't bad, but just no connection. I got home from that and got back on the dating apps and matched with someone new. After a bit of talking, we made tentative plans to meet up the next day for lunch. Sidebar, again, I'm curious like how other people feel, but like when I was on the dating apps, I did not like, I mean in hindsight, I might feel differently now, but back then, excuse me, like I didn't want to talk to someone for 2 minutes and then go hang out with them. Like if I'm hanging out with you, I want to like really, for there to be some investment. So I'm curious, like do you guys, for those of you that are on apps, like do you have to talk to someone for a while, or are you like, I'll talk to you today and tomorrow we can hang out? So comment down below, I'm very curious. Okay, so they're going for lunch. Anyway, I suggested we go for tacos and she said she had tacos the night before. I suggest barbecue. She said she wasn't in the mood. In the parentheses it says foreshadowing. I then suggested we just go to the farmer's market where there's plenty of options and she agreed. She suggested I pick her up, but I don't really like to do that on the first date. So I just said we should meet. We should meet there. It was a Sunday in Nashville. We met up and traffic was bad and it was a very hot day in August. It took a long time to find parking, but eventually we both did. I walked up and noticed she looked a little bit different than her pictures. Sorry, not a little bit. She looked a bit different than her pictures. Not a deal breaker by any means, but immediately put a sour taste in my mouth. Okay, sidebarring again. Now this is something that came up a lot when I was dating. When I would go on dates, guys would say, like, you know, one of the things you typically ask is like, do I look like my pictures? You know, yada yada. And guys would always say, yes, you look like your pictures, blah blah blah. And they would tell me horror stories about, I mean, obviously in my case it was other women, but I know men do this too because I've heard stories from my friends and like I've seen it. Like I mean, most of the guys I've gone on dates with, I kind of knew what they looked like because I really would hang out with someone if I had like a bad feeling about their photos. But like I will never understand like the catfishing mentality or like using old pictures or using filters. Like I know that they're great for confidence, but I can promise you that no one's gonna fall in love with you like online and then come meet you in person and see that you don't look the same, and then you're starting off your relationship with a lie, and then you have to like deal with the discomfort in person. Like if I had confidence issues, I would never, I mean I do and I did, but like I would much rather go meet someone who's meeting me and knows what to expect than to go meet with someone and have an awkward encounter. So like put your like honest foot forward. Like there's no need to bullshit someone because it's going to be more painful if you meet someone under false pretenses and you're talking to them and like you start to like them and then you meet them in real life and they don't like you. They don't like the real you. Obviously it's not all about looks, but like they do matter, and it's about the principle of like telling the truth to someone. Anyway, she immediately started complaining about traffic and parking. I kind of brushed it off and just wanted to have a nice time. We went inside and started looking at options. I'm not a picky eater, so I was kind of letting her make the decision on where she wanted to eat while making suggestions here and there, but she denied every suggestion. We walked around the entire place and I asked, anything call out to you? She replied with, there was this barbecue place around the corner that looked good. And I just bit my tongue and said, sure, that sounds great. We got the food, I paid for it, we sat down, we started talking, and the conversation was really nice. It eventually came to a lull and she said, what should we do next? I offered that we go outside and look at the vendors, and so we did. We grabbed ice cream on the way out. The conversation was very one-sided and we were walking around, which seemed odd to me considering it flowed very well. The conversation was very one-sided when we were walking around, which seemed odd to me considering it flowed very well while we were eating. We what's the harm? We sat down and started brainstorming. I suggested a movie and she said she wanted to do something more social. I suggested a vineyard that I know of that's pretty nice and she said it was too hot. She said she wanted to see live music and I said, well, that's fun, but it's 2 p.m. on a Sunday, so the only place in town that would have live music would be Broadway, which is a touristy part of the town, and most locals try to avoid it. She agreed that we should not go to Broadway. We couldn't decide on plans, so she suggested we walk to a nearby bar and get a few drinks while we decided some more. I thought it sounded good, so we did. On the way there, she noticed a group of people in the park doing exercises and made the comment, "Oh my God, have you ever seen such small dick energy in your life?" Which took me back, and I said, "For exercising?" She said, "Yeah, it's just so desperate." I really didn't know what to say, so I kind of just brushed it off and switched topics. We got to the bar and got drinks, started talking, and again the conversation was really good. Eventually it came to a lull again, and she said once more, "So what's next?" I said, "Honestly, I don't know. I've made suggestions that you didn't like, and music sounds nice, but it's not really an option." She seemed upset at my response, so she stopped talking altogether and stopped looking at me as well. I paid the tab and we started to leave. The walk back to the car was even more awkward. We got to our cars and I said, "Alright, bye," and she said nothing. I got a text about 5 minutes later from her saying, "That was the worst first date I've ever had." I can't always be the one suggesting where to go next and driving the conversation. I felt absolutely dumbfounded that she thought she was doing any of that. Needless to say, there wasn't a second date. Okay, one thing from these stories that I've read, the amount of time you people spend on dates. I will say the only person that I had long dates with, well, no, I mean, first dates, I would never want a long date with somebody. I don't want to be stuck with you for a long period of time. Even my first date with Jesse it wasn't like we went for drinks, that was it. These people that are coffee, lunch, dinner, drink, go home, what are you doing? Go home, go watch YouTube, play a video game, build a puzzle, what are you doing? Go home. Especially for a guy or the person paying for the date, how much you gonna spend? I'm sorry, I'm cheap. When it comes to that shit, I ain't spending money on you like that. Shout out to these people that just kept the date going. So what did we learn, ladies and gents? We learned you do not go to someone's house on the first date. You do not use old or filtered or misleading photos of yourself. You listen to your gut when someone's crazy. If somebody withdraws consent at any point, you accept it and you stop what you're doing. And if somebody is cray in the membrane, we move the fuck on from that nonsense. Okay, so I hope you guys liked the video. This stuff is so fun to me. I feel like Reddit videos are so easy and so entertaining. So if you want another one of these, I'm always down for it. Let me know in the comments. And please, if you guys have dating stories, maybe I have to figure out, unless you guys would just comment them, would you guys be down to just comment your stories and I could read a video, do a video reading my subscribers' worst date stories? That would be so cute. Okay, so tell me if you would share your story down below and maybe we'll make a community post and make this come to life, because that would be fun as hell. Guys,